Hello everyone, Bobby King here, bringing you the latest updates on Iraqi dinar news straight from Iraq. Today, we have some exciting developments to cover. The Parliamentary Oil and Gas Committee has recently expressed optimism about the imminent approval of the Oil and Gas Law, also known as the Hydrocarbon Law. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest updates and analysis on this and other important topics. Let's get started. In recent weeks, political developments in Iraq have brought renewed attention to one of the most contentious issues in the country's governance and economic framework, the Oil and Gas Law. This legislation, which has been a point of contention for nearly 2 decades, is poised for a significant breakthrough as the Parliamentary Oil and Gas Committee has expressed renewed optimism regarding its imminent approval. This article delves into the historical context of the Oil and Gas Law, the political pressures that have contributed to its prolonged delay, and the potential implications of its eventual approval for Iraq's governance and economic stability. The historical context. The Oil and Gas Law, often referred to as the Hydrocarbon Law, is a piece of legislation crucial to managing Iraq's oil and gas resources. The law outlines the framework for the distribution of oil revenues, the management of oil fields, and the relationships between the federal government and the Autonomous Kurdish Regional Government, KRG. It aims to establish a fair and transparent system for the sharing of oil profits and government revenues, providing a legal foundation for the operations and revenue allocation that has long been a source of friction within Iraq. A decade-long stalemate. The debate over the oil and gas law dates back to the early 2000s, with the issue becoming particularly pronounced after the 2005 Iraqi constitution, which granted the Kurdish region considerable autonomy. The KRG's authority to manage its own oil resources has led to disputes with the federal government, which asserts that it should have control over all oil-related activities and revenues. The lack of a cohesive and comprehensive national oil policy has resulted in inconsistent revenue sharing, legal ambiguities, and ongoing political friction. Efforts to pass the law have repeatedly stalled due to a combination of political disagreements, legal disputes, and economic challenges. Each attempt to finalize the legislation has been thwarted by disputes between the federal government and regional authorities, as well as by broader political and sectarian tensions within the country. Recent developments, a renewed optimism. On a recent Sunday, the Parliamentary Oil and Gas Committee made headlines by expressing optimism about the imminent approval of the Oil and Gas Law. This statement marks a significant shift in the legislative landscape, suggesting that a breakthrough may be on the horizon. The committee's optimism stems from recent political developments and a growing recognition of the need for a comprehensive legal framework to manage Iraq's hydrocarbon resources effectively. Political pressures and delays. The prolonged delay in passing the oil and gas law can be attributed to several factors, with political pressure being a primary driver. The law has often been used as a political tool by various factions within Iraq, each seeking to advance its own interests. The federal government and the KRG have engaged in a protracted negotiation process, with each side leveraging the law as a bargaining chip in broader political negotiations. For the KRG, control over oil resources is not just an economic issue but also a matter of regional autonomy and political leverage. The Kurdish region has used its control over oil exports as a means to assert its independence and negotiate better terms with the federal government. Conversely, the federal government has viewed the Kurdish oil exports as a challenge to its authority and a source of economic instability. Additionally, the broader political environment in Iraq has complicated the passage of the oil and gas law. Sectarian divisions, political rivalries, and the influence of various interest groups have all played a role in stalling the legislative process. The law's approval has often been delayed by these competing interests, with each faction seeking to ensure that its concerns are addressed before agreeing to a final version. Implications of the oil and gas law. The approval of the oil and gas law would mark a significant milestone for Iraq, with several potential implications for the country's governance and economic stability. Enhanced revenue sharing. The law would provide a clear and transparent framework for the distribution of oil revenues, reducing disputes between the federal government and regional authorities. This could lead to a more equitable distribution of resources and improve financial stability across the country. Improved investment climate. A comprehensive and stable legal framework for managing oil resources would enhance Iraq's attractiveness to international investors. Clear regulations and consistent revenue-sharing mechanisms could encourage foreign investment in the oil and gas sector, contributing to economic growth. Strengthen governance. The passage of the oil and gas law would strengthen Iraq's governance by providing a legal foundation for managing hydrocarbon resources. This could improve the efficiency of resource management and reduce the potential for corruption and mismanagement. Regional autonomy. The law's approval would address some of the long-standing issues related to regional autonomy, particularly for the KRG. By establishing a formal framework for managing Kurdish oil resources, the law could help resolve some of the contentious issues between the federal government and the Kurdish region. To wrap things up, I want to encourage all my friends watching to stay positive and patient, because patience is truly the key to success. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to my channel and show your support. Wishing you all a fantastic day. Thank you.